Start coming in. Still only us at the moment. Hold on a minute. Participants. Thank you so much. Okay, folks, we are live. Thank you very much for being here this afternoon. My name is Barbara Armstrong from MSD UK, and I have the very simple job today of introducing our speaker for this Power Talk presentation. And our speaker today is Syamak Nazary, and he is the Global Sales Director, IoT Transportation. He is covering sales from a segment point of view and works with all of Intel's ecosystem players in the non-automotive cities and transport industry. And just before I hand over to him to give him the opportunity to make his presentation, there probably won't be time for questions. We'll see how it goes. Do pop any in the chat, and if we get a chance, we will cover them. Otherwise, Syamak is more than happy for you to contact him via his LinkedIn. So please be aware of that we will probably be not having enough time to do questions. But I think that covers everything. And having introduced you now, Syamak, I'm going to hand over to you to just be simply fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Barbara. And thanks everybody for joining today. Today, I'd like to give you a little bit of an introduction of what we do within cities and transportation at Intel, and how we work with partners and what are the driving technologies that are really fueling the growth for smart cities and transportation. Let me start with a simple thing. Every movement you have in a city, or whether you're traveling from A to B or you're eating something in between, everything you do is basically generating data. So once you have, once you know that, and you look at cities and transportation itself, you realize that, hey, there is so much data being generated. Why are we not capturing it? And how can we capture it and let it analyze it all by itself and really make use of it? So if you think about it, the forecast for this year is that in smart city data would be about 16.5 zettabytes of data. Yeah, it's a term we probably will not use a lot, but it's a lot, right? A lot is in transportation, a lot of that is in healthcare, education, environmental monitoring, obviously also a lot of the mobility piece, and also the buildings we have in cities. But all in all, what I wanted to show here is that there is so much data that we are generating that we could use in advantage to make our cities smarter, more efficient, and we can make better informed decisions that way as well. So if you look at what is done until now in terms of making cities smarter and the transportation infrastructure as well, you'll realize that you might think, hey, there's so much already we're doing, but I just wanted to show that this is just the beginning. Because if you look at the segment and all the research that we've done together with our research institutes and partners, is that the business of the smart city segment itself will grow until 7 trillion business by 2030. Meaning that all of the things that are coming in terms of 5G, artificial intelligence, all kinds of edge intelligence to make the seamless experience for all the users in cities and the customers of cities and transportation networks. That's ourselves, right? So we are the customers of all of this that is to come. So this is also making it interesting because now you can see that we're actually in the, you're just jumping from early adapters to early majority. So cities and transportation business in terms of operations, in terms of technology, is a very, very fast growing segment within now and the coming 10 years. So if you're active in some of that, make sure you know this because it's a good business to be in. So what do we do, right? What does Intel do from a cities and transportation perspective? You see, if you look at a city from a really high level overview, you look at the policies, governance, financing, and the strategy of a town. Eventually, what you want is that the town is working as efficient as possible, but it's also profitable. It's a very nice place to live in, and everybody is having a good time, right? So there's a lot of benefits you can have when you look at the certain agencies and areas of how cities can operate, from transportation networks all the way to your home, and the healthcare system, and the way the government is communicating back to its citizens in terms of e-government. And how can Intel play a role in there? So a lot of you might know Intel from your PCs or your laptops or workstations, and this is what I also experienced when I visited cities, a long time back when I joined Intel. Is that a lot of people said, "Hey, we have laptops. Cool that you're here. Why are you here?" So they didn't realize that our technologies are also the, underlying platform for a lot of compute power from the edge. So the system in the car, the video cameras on the streets, everything around the airports, shipping ports, and vehicle compute for ships. All of that is at the edge, and then all of that goes through a network, which also has Intel inside, and then it goes back to a core network and then back into the cloud. So in every step of that data transfer, we play a role, and we have platforms and partners that we work with, and eventually also work with the, let's say, end customers, in this case cities and transportation agencies, to make sure that we can fulfill those needs and really make them more operationally efficient, but also make sure that they monetize their business models much better. So jumping into that portfolio, what do we have, right? People know us from, hey, you're building CPUs, that's great, right? We can put them into devices, but how do we do that, right? There's a big strategy behind it. And if you look at our merger and acquisitions with some of the companies we've done in the past, and looking at our portfolio as well, you'll see that we have lots of things to offer when it comes to certain needs, right? When it comes to, let's say, vision processing units, inferencing at low power envelopes, we have Movidius. We have obviously all our CPUs as well, but we have so many other, let's say, complementary technology that can help build out the end-to-end infrastructure. So looking at these brands, you see there is a software development kit. We have 5G base station solutions with partners. We have Optane SSDs. We have so many things that come together to really enable our partners in helping their customers. And why is that important? If you look at the data that's being stored and analyzed at the moment, we're expecting by 2021 that 50% of all that data is analyzed and is being stored at the edge. So the device really at the edge gathering the data before sending it to the network and then back into the cloud and the circle. So and in transportation and cities, we are more and more seeing that a lot of agencies and cities are interested in having that data captured, analyzed in a fast way, in a real-time way, so that they can make informed decisions. And that's why it's really important. When you look at the graph I showed earlier, we are growing towards a $7 trillion business, is because we will have something what we call distributed compute. So the cloud is slowly moving a little bit forward towards to the network, going at the edge where the data is generated, and then it will seamlessly work on one platform from cloud to edge. So what we call distributed compute, or what we can also call workload consolidation, is part of that, helping the future of data, the data transformation. So what you will have is that the edge will now be more or less as intelligent as the cloud, in which they can speak the same language and really make the operations much faster. So how does that look in practice, right? I mean, these are good stories to tell, but how would that work in practice? And I'm going to show you a little bit of a case of how we implemented solutions in the past. So what I'm going to show you today is everything we have. It's not something about a future or anything. This is all of the platforms we've worked with partners today. Imagine if you're traveling through a city, you have a gas leak or you have a crack on the road, as you see here on this picture. So there is a gas leak or something else, right? It could be an earthquake, anything around that. You can have smart street lighting that is enabled with intelligent sensors and sometimes even vision sensors, detect the gas leakage. Is there a gas? We have solutions, environmental monitoring solutions that can that have sensors for multiple gases that could eventually detect the gas leakage as well, and also give a measurement of in parts per billion. And then you will have a first responder drone that can go and have a look and get all the vision feeds and the images back into the control room to see what's going on. And then that same drone can alarm the fire department because their servers and the platforms they use and the control rooms they use are again interconnected with the drones, the first responder drones that could go and help. And then we have for the citizens smart city kiosks with huge screens. This could be huge 85-inch 4K screens that communicate, because they're also connected to the same platform, communicate back to the citizens that there is a gas leak or an earthquake or anything else. And then all of that comes together in the city control platform, where you have all of your, let's say, end nodes, your machines, your systems reporting back into you real time on what's going on. So, just on smart cities, we go beyond that, right? Smart cities it's not only about municipalities or the city you live, but there's a lot of areas where you have I would say, micro city environment. So our solutions with our partners goes beyond municipalities. It's on highways, right? You work with national agencies. It's with theme parks and resorts. It's with stadiums. It's with utilities, ports, universities, and law enforcement. So it goes across multiple, I would say, agencies within cities and outside of cities on a national level. So there are multiple ways that Intel is working with partners to enable smart spaces, but also smart cities. There is one thing that is fueling this, and when I said earlier, there are AI and vision analytics, and as part of AI, what we call deep learning is really boosting this trend in terms of generating the data, but also analyzing the data real time as we go. So vision analytics, you're really using vision cameras, right? You can call them cameras, but in some ways they're so smart they're just capturing something, analyzing it at the edge, and sending me the data back. So it doesn't always have to be an image, Big Brother watching you kind of a thing, but it can be used in multiple segments. So apart from transportation, think about industrial, casino gaming, autonomous driving, which is also using cameras and LiDAR sensors to combine that effort, manufacturing automation, or drones, as I said earlier, home and retail shops using it in their advantage to optimize traffic, but also optimize revenue. All of them use the same underlying technology, and Intel is one of the enablers of that. So you can see we have a lot of partners in a lot of areas that come in together, from software to hardware to system integrators to OEMs, device manufacturers, all come together, and we work with all of them day in, day out. And Intel has for each segment you see here a dedicated person leading them to make sure that these markets are served well. So what do we do else to help our partners push their solutions, right? Obviously, we don't go in and do business with the city directly ourselves. We work with partners because we are technology enablers. But we have programs in which our partners can come in and really reap the benefit of being a partner of Intel. And how do you do that? You can just, there are multiple ways of doing this, but there are two things, the two programs I wanted to call out here. One of them is RFP Ready Kits, and the other is Market Ready Solutions. The RFP Ready Kits are actually something that we have with a lot of device manufacturers, and that's basically a ready kit for you to use if you just need some software of your own, or you're a system integrator. you can easily start with that kit and not worry about the hardware design a lot, because you can now focus on what your services, your software. So I would say it's a solution that is more or less 60% done. That's the RFP ready kits, and we go through a certain kind of a let's say rigid process with our partners to make sure that their RFP ready kits have long-term support, work properly, are secure, are safe, and then they will come and be part of our program. And on the left side, you'll see the market-ready solutions, which is for the end users. So if you have a full solution and it's based on Intel, end-to-end solution, right? And you'd like to market that with end customers, we can help there as well. So what we do is we position your solution together with our partners and our sales teams in winning the market with your customers, your set of customers. So let's say if you have a solution for transportation, you have a user interface, you have the software ready, everything's ready. We can come in and help you position that product globally, right? So then what you would do as a company is go through that market ready solution process together with us, and then once all of the checkbox are done, then we can go and market this product for you. So for multiple ways of let's say levels of discussion with customers and applying technology, we can help in boosting that with all the other support that we can give, technical support or marketing funding, what else. So lots of ways we can collaborate here. And then if you look at what kind of portfolio did we build, I just named a few in the example. Things like intelligent traffic, environmental monitoring, smart street lighting, smart surveillance, connected railways. So many things I can go through now, but just to give you an overall idea, it's all over the place, right? If you think about a city and a transportation network, there are so many challenges, but also opportunities for cities to improve and obviously optimize the city's performance in terms of policy, in terms of revenue, right? So those are a few of those. And how do we help? Again, we help on a global scale. So the solutions a few of the solutions we just showed you in the previous slides, a lot of them are already having projects. Think about fleet management solutions for postal companies that previously had a lot of trouble managing their fleets in a proper way, now applied AI and at the edge intelligence with Intel to enable advanced driver assistance to their current existing fleets. Right? These are not Teslas or any expensive vehicles. These are just their existing fleets. And by just adding the smartness in an automotive kind of a solution aftermarket into their vans and into their trucks, they are saving up to 80% of all kinds of costs that are related to fleets. So accidents, many other things like think about the driver monitoring, a lot of issues that come with fleets. And then we have traffic systems that are globally deployed. Think about the highway lane control systems. Think about electronic toll collection systems. We even did autonomous ships projects with a big UK partner. If you Google it a bit, you'll find out. And those are already running between Finland and some other areas in Europe. So overall, lots of ways that we can come in and jump and push the adoption of technology, because that's not the goal, right? We want to push the adoption of technology to help you there. Oh, sorry. So what did it bring for the partners, the market-ready solutions? How did it help them? If you look at some of the deployments we have, we're looking at about 110 countries where we have deployed solutions. 90% of them were also deployed as a repeating deployment. So after they had a POC, they would start to grow into a much larger project. And then there are about 170, I think the number is a bit more now. Might need some update, but 170 approved market-ready solutions with leading partners, and these market-ready solutions also provide a kind of a confidence to our customers, right? We have relationship with a lot of big customers for a long time, especially from an IT perspective, right? From the servers and the PC refresh, and they, we are in kind of a trusted advisor. But we also want to make sure that when we come with IoT solutions, they are well tested, they are working in the field, they've been through multiple required trials, they fulfill the certification, etc. So it can be much bigger, and if you have something on Intel, please make sure to connect with us, connect with me. I can maybe connect you to some other guys to start collaborating with us. So finally, I would like to say, what are the benefits, right? If you think about the technology adoption, being in the cities and transportation industry, how is that helping us, right? How is it helping the end customer, which is eventually, apart from the city, it's us ourselves, because we're making use of all these systems, of the infrastructure, of the roads. If you look at how much you can, just by transportation, applying intelligent transportation and smart mobility, you can save up to 60 hours per year per citizen. Now, I'm talking about optimizing traffic flow, making sure that you respond quick enough to incidents, autonomous, not only vehicles, but autonomous everything, right? Infrastructure, AI, all of that together could save us 60 hours a year per citizen. That's about, what is it, like two and a half days? 2.5 days that we could spend on anything else, like our hobbies or whatsoever. And then we have public safety, right? We can save and make sure that we have much better safety procedures within cities. And sustainability. Let's not forget about that. It's been a big hot topic, in the last 5-7 years, and it should be, because we can also save on greenhouse gases and all of that by having optimized transportation and city infrastructure. So, just looking at these numbers, it's kind of logical why we are at the beginning of I would say, early majority of adoption of many of these technologies to come. So with that, I just want to say billions of connected things are coming. So if you're doing anything on technology or you're working with partners around that, make sure it's Intel inside. And I'm here to help you and push your solutions and help you in reaching your goal with your customers eventually. So I know we have a few minutes left. I think more than 6-7 minutes. I am really happy to take questions live here until we finish. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Syamak. That was really great. This is your opportunity as participants to be able to ask any questions. So if you would pop those now into the chat as quickly as possible before we run out of time, that would be absolutely fantastic. I think one of the questions that I would ask in the meantime is, before we started this, you and I, Syamak, were having a chat about the effect of the changing context on working and large buildings in cities. How do you envisage all of this links with the connections and the connectivity that you've been talking about in your presentation, or might link?
Yeah, I think because of COVID, things are going to change around, and this is what we discussed, change around big cities and offices and how that will take shape. So if we are going to live in a world of possibly pandemics that will get over but might come again, or we might have a change of attitude towards making sure that all of the people are safe in the safe distance and everything. What is really important to keep things normal in that sense is to use technology and connectivity in real-time manner to make sure that everybody is well informed about a certain situation. For example, is your train too full right now? Okay, then we wait about half an hour because my app is telling me that there is much more time now. We can between the half an hour that you were going to wait and the amount of people in the train, or live feed of how many people are in the office today. just checking that out, and through that you can make a reservation of when to go in and come back. All of that requires some sort of technology and real-time response, and I think we are growing towards that as well. So even though there is a pandemic, I think it's not going to change the adoption of technology and networks. It's going to accelerate it even.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I can see that already. People already starting to think differently about how they're going to do. I haven't had any questions come up because I think you've covered everything so well. So I don't know. I want to give people the last chance to just say, are there any questions that you want, or comments that you want to make, any feedback on the presentation?
I'm sorry, I'm talking fast all the time, so
it's okay. I'm always you stun them all. You stun them all. Well, on that note, I won't force people to ask questions, but remember that you can contact Syamak through LinkedIn and follow up on this presentation and ask any questions that might come up after you've been away and had a chance to digest the presentation. So all that leaves me to say, Syamak, is thank you so much for a thrilling and really thought-provoking presentation today. And I'm sure that the people that have been on here will go away and do some thinking about how their businesses can work differently and look at these connections that you've been identifying as we go forward in the future. Lots and lots of food for thought. Thank you so much. And thank you for attending, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye all.